The brother man who's a vet and got his own business in the hood. Give it up for my brother, Iwano!
Sorry, guys. So why didn't the oyster share his food?
Why?
He's shellfish.
Oh!
I'll tell you a joke. There was a sailor, right? And he gets hired aboard this new ship. And it's a ship full of men, right? And so after about 6 months, he goes to his buddies like, hey, why don't we go back to port, right? He's like, we're not going back to port for another 6 months. He's like, what the hell? I can't wait that long. Like, I'm like really horny, Yeah, I should put that part. Anyway, so he's like, oh, have you tried the barrel? It's like, no, what's that? He's like, look, check this out. And so he takes him to this room, and there's this barrel there, and the barrel has a little hole in it. He's like, try it out, right? So he starts fucking the barrel, and it works really good, He's like, oh yeah, that's awesome, right? He's like talking to his buddies, like, man, I'm gonna use that barrel every fucking day. He's like, oh, every day but Sunday, right? He's like, oh, you can't use it on Sunday? He's like, oh, you can, but Sunday's your day in the barrel. What do you call a guy that can make a business suit really fast? Taylor Swift. Yeah, I think, Pride Month's over, but I think Pride Month needs a mascot, And I got the perfect one. The flamingo. Right, it's pink, they love to dance. And they're like a non-predatory bird, They only eat like, those shrimp, I forget what it's called. These little brine shrimp and algae and stuff. Nobody gives a damn about brine shrimp, right? And eat whatever. And you know what a group of flamingos is called? They're not called a flock. No, they're called a flamboyance. How gay is that, right? Even the name flamingo, yeah, you can look it up. Even the name flamingo is flaming O. A flaming O, right? That's a burning butthole. Yeah, usually when guys brag about how big their dicks are, it's usually the opposite, right? Usually they got little tiny dicks. Yeah. And I was talking to this guy the other day, and he was like, oh man, my dick is so big, I'm like hung like a horse. And I was like, yeah, right, I'm like a seahorse. Yeah, I was in the United States Army, 1st Cavalry, Division Fort Hood. It was pretty cool, Because we were being the only 8 person though. And every day, people just looking at me like, are we supposed to shoot this guy? It's cool being in the Army, and you get some good benefits. But I'd say the best benefit was the ability to give old men hard-ons. Yeah, old men, they love hearing Army stories. I guess it makes you feel younger, getting hope for the future or something. Like, if I meet some old men in a park and I start telling Army stories, I'll tell you, they start coming all over me. I'll tell you an Army story right now. Like, sometimes people acquire, like, unfortunate nicknames in the Army, right? Like, the best example is this guy named Nopi. Right, Nopi is short for no penis, kind of. Anyway, this is how it goes. In the beginning of basic, our drill sergeant, he tells us all, like, 2 of you will get to shoot the AT-4, that's a rocket launcher, right? The 2 best marksmen, the 2 best shooters. And so I tried my best, but I got like 5th out of like 200 guys. And so the 2 best, the morning, right, we're all sitting on the bleachers and we're like watching. The first guy goes up and they hand him a rocket launcher. And so he's like messing with it a little. It takes about 5 steps to get ready to shoot. And so he's whatever, and then he puts it on his shoulder, right? So we're all quiet and shit. And then fucking whatever, it goes boom, right? And he's like, there's 2 clouds of smoke on either side of him, and there's fucking like, it looks like an orange football. It comes streaming out, and it hits his tank, and it doesn't blow up right away, right? It goes boom, right? And all these sparks start flying and shit, and we're like, oh fuck yeah, it's fucking awesome. And then the next guy gets up. He's second best shooter. Same thing. They throw him a fucking AT-4. He's like messing with it, and he puts it onto his shoulder. And we're like, all right, here we go. And it's like, boom! But this one goes straight into the ground, just like 10 feet in front of him, right? And it's like, right? And we're like, you suck, you fucking loser, you fucking suck. And so that day, he got that name, No Penis, and Nobody, yeah. So, you only get 1 shot in life. You fuck it up, you might end up with some fucked up nickname. I'll tell you another story. Viet versus Chago fight, right? Okay, when I was in 8th grade, on the very first day, there was this huge fight that everyone talks about to this day, you know. But I didn't see it, but everyone told me. Anyway, it involved this guy named Viet. Yeah, this little 7th grader named Viet, right? Some Vietnamese kid that I never even heard of. And then Chago, right? Everyone knew who Chago was, right? He's an 8th grader. And whatever, he's like this Mexican gangster kid, you know, he's got a shaved head and shit. And fucking everyone's scared, you know. I was scared to death of Chago, right? All of 7th grade, I like totally avoided this guy. Anyway, it's the first day of 8th grade. And so they're about to fight. And everyone tells me the same thing, right? Viet, he gets to this weird fucking kung fu stance, right? Like this, like, you know? And then everyone starts laughing, right? Because they think he's playing around or something. But he's not. He's like, come on, let's do it, right? And Chago's like, all right, motherfucker. And then Viet just starts kicking him and punching him and shit. And he's like beating him up, right? And so Chago's got these 2 buddies, you know? And so they jump in, they're like, fuck this, right? And so Viet just started fucking fighting all 3 of them, you know? It looked like a Jackie Chan movie. She was like, da, 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 da. Everyone told me it looked like the other 3 guys were like just in slow motion and shit. And he was just like, ah, ah, ah. Anyway, Chago's like, fuck this, right? He goes to his backpack and he gets out these 2 sharpened pencils, right? He's like, I'm gonna fucking stab you, right? And at the end, he just starts kicking the pencils and shit. And he breaks them, and he breaks both of them. And then he just starts kicking everyone, fucking, you know, and he started beating them up again. And then they just give up, and they're like, all right, fine, and they all run away and shit. And then people were just standing there just applauding, and they're like, whoa, you know? Yeah, and after that, like, everyone in my fucking school, like, took martial arts after that. Yeah. And everyone stopped using pencils. Got 2 more jokes. Yeah, you know, I think Shaquille O'Neal is like the happiest man on planet Earth, right? You know, like, whatever, he's always so jolly, everyone just loves him. I think because he's never been messed with. Like, how are you gonna bully someone who's so tall that his crotch is in your face? Hey, Shaq, give me your lunch money. Never mind. Yeah, I've seen this billboards all over Hollywood about this blind mountain climber that climbed to the top of Mount Everest. That's pretty inspiring, you know? But I was thinking, well, how did he know he's on top of Mount Everest? For all he knows, he could have just been on top of Mount Whitney, like right over there.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that's actually a pretty good business idea. Taking blind mountain climbers up to the top of Mount Everest. Yeah, you know that whole thing going around where, like, if you're a woman and you meet if you're alone in the woods, would you rather meet a bear or a man, right? A strange man. And a lot of women are choosing the bear, right? But I think that's just ignorance of bear knowledge. Because I met a bear alone in the woods once, and he fucked the shit out of me. Yeah, you know, a couple weeks back, North Korea sent over 200 balloons over to South Korea, and they were filled with like garbage and excrement. But that statement's not exactly accurate. Yeah, because they weren't packed with shitty trash. No, they were filled with Dane Cook's jokes. Yeah, and you know, in retaliation, South Korea set up these loudspeakers, and they're like blasting like this anti-communist propaganda and like K-pop in North Korea, right? And in retaliation for that, North Korea set up their own loudspeakers. But they don't have bands like BTS and stuff like that in North Korea, you know? So they just blast like the most annoying sounds they could think of. And you probably guessed it, Matt Rive's comedy special. Yeah, you know, new disorder going around called Usher syndrome. And it makes you go blind and deaf. It's pretty serious, right? You know, I always thought when you got Usher syndrome, it just made you go, yeah! Yeah, I was driving around the other day, I got pulled over by a horse cop. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know it was behind me until I heard this, woo, woo! It wasn't siren making that sound either, it was the horse. Yeah, you know, it's weird how language changes over time, right? Like nowadays, if a guy came up to me and told me he was gonna blow my brains out, I wouldn't know whether to run away or pull my pants down. Yeah, you know the NFL has one Asian player, and he's a kicker. Could you not might find a more racist position for this guy? What, you gonna make him go out barefoot in a karate uniform? Yeah, I was watching this Bigfoot show the other day. It struck me as how dedicated these Bigfoot hunters were. You know, so devoted to something that might not even be real. Like comedians in their careers. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I've had sex with all different types of women, like white, black, Mexican, Asian. In my opinion, Asian women give the best blowjobs. Yeah. If any of you ladies like to prove me wrong, you can meet me in the bathroom later.
Oh, you want
Alright, I do jokes, whatever. I'm gonna go to Inglewood later and do these barbershop jokes, so I'll tell you the barbershop jokes here, so whatever. So don't look at me weird. Alright. Yeah, I've had sex with a black woman, you know. It was cool, you know, aside from her skin color, she wasn't any different than any other woman I've had sex with. The only real difference I can say is that the whole time I was fucking her, I was like, don't touch your hair, don't touch your hair. Yeah, you know the rap game's not all that simple, right? It's pretty complicated. I mean, it's not all black and white. Yeah, just ask Wiz Khalifa. He'll tell you. It's more like black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, one of my favorite shows when I was a little kid was Different Strokes. It was a great show, you know. I think that show was cursed or something. Because everybody's dead, right? The only one left is Todd Bridges. Yeah, if Gary Coleman were alive right now hearing this joke, he'd be like, who are you talking about with this? Yeah, Gary Coleman. He was kind of like famous for being like a little person. And, you know, he was only like 4'8" when he died. And he died really young, you know. I think he was like only 42. So, I mean, by all accounts, what can I say? He lived a short life. Yeah, Gary Coleman. He was always fighting for like dignity and respect for, you know, little people and stuff. His whole life, right? But then when Webster came out, he was like, Emmanuel Lewis, you little midget motherfucker. Yeah, I saw the movie Soul Food a couple weeks back. It was great, you know. Whatever, you know, the very first 5 seconds, this whatever song comes on about Mama's love is like the stars and shit. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to start crying. I don't know what the fucking movie's about. Yeah, I didn't see the whole movie, you know. I just got up to, because I was drunk with what I was drinking. I just got up to the part where their mom had to get her foot amputated, or she learned that she had to get her foot amputated, you know. And I was like, wait, I thought soul food was good for you. Never mind. Oh, Jack in the Box. Yeah, I was watching the Tina Turner. Oh, the more I learned about black culture, the more I realized I don't know anything about black culture, you know? And I was watching the Tina Turner movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? And then it was awesome, right? But then after it was over, I was like, wait a minute, when did she marry Bobby Brown? That's the first time I said it. Because her life is so similar to Whitney Houston's. There's this lady, or this dude sitting here about a month ago, and sitting right there giving me the Jada Pinkett face. Have you ever seen the Jada Pinkett face? It's like when they go, eh. I was like, what the hell, dude? Don't be sitting there giving me no Jada Pinkett face. You better knock that shit off before I give you the Will Smith hand.
Oh.
Yeah, one of my favorite actresses is Vivica A. Fox. Wow, she's awesome. Yeah, you know, when I first saw Independence Day, I thought she looked like a princess. But have you seen her lately? I saw this car insurance commercial with her and Ice-T. I was like, what the fuck? Did she kiss a Shrek or something? God damn. I think she set it off one too many times. Yeah.
5 seconds.
She don't do booty call anymore. She do belly call. Yeah, after doing soul food, she maybe should have done some Thai food. Yeah, or maybe her famous movie, I think her most famous movie was Two Can Play That Game. But I was like, what game was that? Pie eating contest? Yeah, I call it fat. But look at me, I'm skinny. Never stop me from getting busy, I'm a freak. I like the girls with the boom. I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom. Anyway, that works in Inglewood. Not these jokes. If I say these jokes, then they're just looking at me. I was watching Oscars this past season, and towards the end, I was getting all excited, you know? I was like, hey, look, they're bringing back The Mummy. But then I saw again, I was like, oh no, that's just Al Pacino. I was talking to this dude the other day. He told me he's Persian. I was like, you're Persian? From Persia? He was like, yeah, where are you from? He's like, the Han Dynasty, I guess? Yeah, I had a real bad haircut about a month ago. Oh, it's horrible, you know? You have ever a haircut so bad that people start treating you differently? You're like, this guy must have a learning disability or something. You know your shit's fucked up when the waitress at Denny's tying a bib around your neck. You know, this past April 4th is a new national holiday. It's now National Burrito Day. And the very next day, April 5th, is now National Toilet Clogging Day. Yeah, I was eating pizza the other day, but eating pizza by yourself is kind of depressing, right? Yeah, it's like eating cake or getting drunk by yourself. Basically like on my last birthday. And you know, comedians always tell you two things, right? They always tell you when they just get booked on a show. They always tell you when they just had sex. That's a bit juvenile, right? Like myself, I haven't been booked on a show in over a month. But I did get laid last week, so hoo-ah. All right, my name's Iwan, I'm out of here, thank you.